Hello to all the viewers. I am happy and proud uh, to have this interview session with Dr. Ankit Phasi, who is rank 1 in the INISS DM Neurology Common Merit List and rank 2 in the AIMS Merit List. So Ankit, the country's first INISS exam, and to top that exam at the national level. So the results were declared just a few hours back. So what do you feel now?
So I'm very happy. I feel very happy.
Yeah.
Actually, so I didn't expect to get such a good rank, but I'm very happy that I was able to get.
Okay, definitely it's a proud moment because rank 1 and that too in a very special exam. So the first INISS, so in DM neurology segment, he has got rank 1 and in the AIMS merit list, he has got rank 2. All right. So I'm sure the viewers would want to know a lot from Dr. Ankit Pasi about his journey and obviously for the aspirants, those who want to get into Central Institute Neurology, they would be wanting to know how to prepare for the exam. So we'll just have an interview with him. All right. So Ankit, can you just tell a bit about yourself, your MBBS and MD days from which all colleges?
So I'm hailing from Kerala, Trivandrum. I joined MPBS in 2010 in Kottayam Medical College. I completed my MPBS in 2016, and for 1 year I took coaching, and then only I was able to crack PG. I got good rank in AIMS entrance in the next year, and I joined AIMS Rishikesh. And after I completed my PG in February
Okay.
2021,
Okay.
then I joined. After 4 months, I joined in medical college here, private medical college here.
Okay.
I did my SRship for 4 months,
Okay.
and then I took 2 months leave prior to the INASS, and
Okay.
then I prepared for the
Very
entrance.
good. Very good. All right. So let me just ask you, this is something every viewer would want to know. Like, when did you decide in your mind, okay, neurology is something that is fascinating me and I want to do DM neurology. So was it during the early parts of residency or towards end or?
Sir, I had this in mind that I will plan for neurology whenever before I joined as PG itself. I had this knowledge. I wanted to do neurology only. But in between, when I was doing my residency, I changed my specialty. I wanted to do nephrology.
Okay.
And for 2 months, I was thinking like I will do nephrology. And I've started reading some FIHALI also.
Okay.
Then I thought that it is better I choose back neurology because it suits me better. I
Okay.
felt that. So
Okay.
I took it.
Definitely, this is one branch where you have a very good combination of clinical skills as well as theoretical knowledge. So something that will fascinate everyone, who likes general medicine also, because
Yes.
the element of history taking, the examination skills all come to a part. Along with that, you have got to have a sound theory knowledge as well. All right. So that is also quite clear. So Ankit, first of all, regarding the INISS exam. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is the first time that we are having the INISS exam. So can you just go through the question pattern of the exam? Like how many questions, what was the difficulty level?
Okay.
So can you just run through the question paper pattern of INISS?
So what I'm going to tell will be specific for neurology. And 50-30, it was out of the 80 questions, 50 questions were from neurology and 30 questions were from general
Okay.
medicine.
Okay.
And first, I will like to tell about general medicine.
Okay.
General medicine, the questions pattern were almost similar to previous PG questions. I felt like that because my friend always, he was a PG, he wanted to do his DM in PG. So he always uh, checks his question paper with me. So I already have done almost three, year- three, almost 2 years question paper of PG. So this pattern was almost similar because they have asked these questions from that specific portion. Like they were asking question from transfusion, they were asking question from poisoning, and these were and some questions were up to date, acute management and up to date.
Okay.
So I felt that the question pattern, that 30 questions from general medicine was more or less likely a PG pattern,
Okay.
and not Srijitra pattern. Srijitra pattern is more of the from Harrison only, but these questions were outside Harrison also. They
Okay.
were asking some questions from up to date also.
Okay.
Then the 50 questions of neurology were entirely, if you have read Harrison itself, yeah, you will be able to crack the questions, because they were trying to assess whether you are able to whether you have understood Harrison, not whether you have read Harrison, because there was no question which was one-liners. All were based on concepts only, and if your concepts were clear, you'll be able to answer. I felt like that.
Yeah.
More or and only stroke I felt they asked outside. From stroke, that part the questions were from outside, and the question paper included both long stem questions as well as some short stem questions. And I think, sir, their basic questions pattern was from Harrison only. If
Okay.
you have read Harrison well, then you will be able to answer. Neurology, I felt that.
Okay. So I still remember while you are saying this, a good number of questions from Harrison. I still remember an interview I had with one of my students, Dr. Pooja, who is currently a final year resident in AIMS, Delhi. So in that interview also, Pooja was telling this. She read Harrison once, and when she was reading it the second time or the third time or the fourth time or the fifth time, you would find something new.
Neurology.
So I think you have got to have a thorough reading of your basic textbook, Harrison. At the same time, there will be areas like Dr. Ankit said, stroke, which is not well covered in Harrison, especially the treatment part is vaguely given. So for those areas, you will have to require extra reading. And otherwise, you have to be very, very strong in Harrison. Okay. So that's it. And Ankit, one thing I just want to know from you, did you actually have a read through Bradley textbook of neurology at any time?
So actually, when we are trying to get a DM, we will definitely read this super specialty book. So I also read Bradley, like
Okay.
around 60% I've covered.
Okay.
Main topics I've covered. I have written notes, but I think, sir, that is not the rank plunging
Deciding.
thing,
Yeah.
deciding thing. It is
Yeah.
not the deciding thing. The
Okay.
deciding thing is Harrison itself.
Okay.
Bradley I have read, but
Okay.
I don't think that maybe from epilepsy. Epilepsy
Okay.
syndromes questions came from
Okay.
Bradley only.
Okay.
But rest of that, I think everything was from Harrison, and stroke part from outside.
Yes. And one thing I've always noted is in case of AIMS exams. Now the INISS is there, but even then the AIMS is the exam conducting body. So areas sometimes that are slightly less often asked in NEET SS, like congenital myasthenia, myasthenic syndromes, metabolic myopathies, so congenital muscular dystrophies. These areas are given importance in Central Institute exams. So sometimes, when we go through Harrison, you might have a tendency to just overlook those areas. For example, topics like congenital myasthenia gravis, there was a question on the episodic apnea presentation. So you should not overlook those topics. And as Dr. Ankit said, if you read Harrison, it's not just vaguely reading, you've got to understand it well. And each and every line, you should be very, very thorough with. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Ankit, for that input, because many of the, aspirants would want to know that. Now, next, see for the INISS, I think you had joined Doc Tutorials. So, did you watch all the lectures of Doc Tutorials,
Yes,
neurology?
yes, sir. I've completed all the lectures.
Okay, so you have
Neurology.
completed all the lectures. So I think
Yes,
the stroke part was not covered well in Harrison, but I think we have given
yes,
good
yes,
amount of time and
yes.
exhaustive coverage we have given in the Doc Tutorials app. I think I've covered around 14 hours or so for stroke. So, yeah. So I hope you have gone through all the lectures.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right. So and then regarding the results. So first, for the viewers, maybe for the first year residents or second year residents, some of you might not know that INISS now is in two parts. Okay, that is for the basically this exam is for NIMHANS, Sri Chitra, JIPMER, PGI, and AIMS. Okay, AIMS Delhi as well as other peripheral AIMS. So for AIMS alone, it is a two-step exam. Okay, which means after the first exam, MCQ exam, there will be an interview also, and there will be a separate AIMS merit list and separate common merit list. So AIMS merit list includes your mark for the MCQ round as well as the mark for the interview. So it is a combined one. So that is why, like Ankit is rank 1 in the common merit list and rank 2 in the AIMS merit list. So the AIMS merit list rank 1 is also like our student, that is Dr. Pushkar Parani. So Ankit, let me just ask you, regarding again, I'm just coming back to the questions of AIMS. So you said that questions, it was a mixture of long stem and short stem questions. So what about image based questions and what about questions from statistics?
Okay, so statistics, I think that it was very easy this time.
Yeah.
It was very easy question. But the previous AIMS question paper was a little bit tough because they asked about NLT. So this time it was very simple, basic question. They asked the curve, Gaussian curve. They asked one question based on Gaussian curve only. And the other question I don't know.
Which means, all the residents should know one thing, those who are preparing, PSM does not leave you. Okay, even if you have cleared your NEET PG, even for your super specialty, whether it be for NEET SS or the INISS, there will be some questions from statistics. So you have got to be thorough with the statistics part also. The basic test, okay, they don't usually ask you very tough questions. So, but you have got to be reasonably thorough with the parametric, non-parametric test, odds ratio, positive and negative predictive value, sensitivity, specificity. Because see, these are central institutes, and they want to test, whether you're good in statistics as well. Because the central institutes, they have a good importance to research as well. So you've got to go for statistics also for your preparation. The same applies to NEET tests. Even for NEET tests, they do ask questions. Okay, so regarding image-based questions, Ankit?
So I think this time they asked specific question based on fundoscopy. I think everybody should read Hutchison fundoscopy, that chapter, because it's given very beautifully for only 2 pages.
Okay.
So after reading that, if you try to read Harrison, then you will be able to understand. Reading plainly Harrison, that ophthalmology part, maybe it is very tough actually. You will not be able to comprehend, because you may be able to mug up, but you will not be able to comprehend. And if you have one ophthalmology friend or some person, you can also ask help from them, because fundoscopy, they have asked questions. I think it was a little bit tough, fundoscopy questions which they asked this time. I don't know whether I got it correct or not, but I have read Hutchison as well as Harrison part of neurophthalmology.
Okay.
So maybe I would have correct.
So, and what about your marks after your exam? What was your mark in stage 1?
Stage 1 is 58.66 out of 80.
58.66 out of 80. So, was this roughly according to your calculation itself after the
exam? Yes, sir. It was around my calculation only.
Okay.
I've calculated around 56, 57. I got it around.
Okay. So with that score, did you expect you will be rank 1?
No, I didn't expect so. Because after the exam, I was telling my friends, as well my family, that question seems to be easier. I was expecting a tougher exam because it was the first time INSS was going to happen.
Okay.
And so I was expecting a tougher question paper, but it was easier.
Okay.
So I thought the topper will be scoring around 60, 65, okay. 65, minimum 65.
Okay. Okay. So, how was that, seeing, yesterday night, the result actually came. So, you're just opening the laptop and, seeing the rank, what did it feel?
Actually, I checked it at least 10 times. Okay. Then only I just told my family I have got first rank, because I was not at all expecting.
Okay.
I would have loved to get a rank within 15, because then I would get in a institute of my preference.
Okay.
So I was thinking I should get within 15, because I have already reached within 30. At least I should be able to get in 15.
Okay. So now you have got to make a decision, because you told me a while back also Like, you want to take a decision between Sri Chitra, AIIMS, and NIMHANS, but it's always a good confusion to have. When you are given multiple good options. Okay, all right. Now, see, for the AIIMS, the after round one for the interview. Now, for the viewers, can you just tell, see, what is the interview all about, and what are you, what are you expected? Because Ankit, he was there in our group. That is, after stage one, we had prepared a separate WhatsApp group for candidates who have qualified. And in that group, I had shared the last few years interview questions. That is from my students, that is the doctoral students who were already like successful in their interviews, because AIIMS previously itself had these interviews. So all my students actually gave me the question collection also, and I shared in their group. So Ankit, was your final round of preparation based on those previous questions?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, because you have shared all that questions, we already know what we are going to get. That we definitely know. But the thing is, we must be prepared to present it. Yeah. How we are going to present it. We should not get intimidated by them, because they are all big faculty. So that is the most important thing. And if we have to stay grounded, and we should
answer according to the moment. Correct. Because what Ankit is also trying to tell us is that, see, it's not just knowledge what matters. See, knowledge matters for the first round. But when it comes to the interview, when they are asking questions, if you are just, too much anxious and, thinking of what they might think, then, you might not be able to answer things that Because if you see, even Ankit might be knowing, like, I had conducted a session the day the results actually came. That is, a first round results came. I did a session initially, to just tell everyone, all our students who actually qualified, on how to prepare for the interview. And in that also I said, you're not going to be asked very high funda questions. It's less likely, because let's just have a look at the questions that Ankit got, and then we'll just assess. Ankit, what were the questions for the interview?
So I got two questions. First question was, how will you differentiate between acute and central and peripheral vertigo?
Yeah.
And the second question was, how will you approach a case of acute coronary paralysis?
So see here, two questions. Are these questions very tough questions? No. But as Ankit said, see, central versus peripheral vertigo, it is again a question that we had discussed in our mock interview sessions, because we had conducted a series of mock interview sessions, leading to the exam, because where I was specifically asking the candidates, and these questions were based on the previous interview sessions. So, you have got to speak out. And as Ankit said, the strategy is slightly different for the interview. Correct, Ankit? If you just think, okay, they are going to just ask me some random gene mutation in Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. That's not how the interview goes. They are going to assess. So Ankit, just tell us about your interview. See, I just want to know, how long was the interview, and what were they trying to assess?
It was 15 to 20 minutes, as I mentioned. First, they asked me a blanket question, like, how will you approach a case of central versus peripheral vertigo? Then they needed specific answers.
Okay.
They were asking me, how will you do, whether there will be long tract signs, that sort of question. Easy questions they were asking first. Okay. Then they asked me specific questions, which was like, for the acute coronary paralysis, they were asking where a boy was sleeping on the ground. Okay. And he was overnight he developed coronary paralysis. What will you be thinking? Okay. I even answered basilar artery thrombosis with the deferential straight, but I think that was not the answer they needed. They needed the most common answer. Yeah. They needed snake bite. That was the answer. Yeah. And at that point of time, I went completely blank. I was not able to answer. But if that same patient comes to, I think that is the main thing. You have to be
presence of mind, because I know that because if that question was asked to you any day, 9 out of 10 times you would easily say. Yes. But at that moment, when an examiner, like maybe who took your exam interview, who was taking?
Sir, Rohit Bhatia, sir, and I think Padma Srivastava ma'am was also there. Right. We can hear her sound, because I am in AIIMS Rishikesh. Okay. I have met her personally.
Okay.
speaker. As speaker.
Rohit Bhatia sir, they are all outstanding mentors, teachers, clinicians. Rohit Bhatia sir is definitely a national figure. In fact, when I was doing my DM, more for my senior batch, he was the external examiner, Rohit Bhatia sir. So, I have interacted with him during that time when he came to our college as well. Again, he's a very, very energetic person, a very fit person also, is very fit and he works very fastly also. Sir is a outstanding personality also. Even so is Padma ma'am. Okay, very energetic also, ma'am. All right. So just going. So you have just given us an overview regarding the interview. Now, let me just go back again. See, if there is a resident who is joining, because now the MD medicine results are out. I mean, the NEET PG results are out, and obviously the counseling is a bit delayed. So there will be candidates who are going to join for MD medicine. Now, I have two questions for you. Your perspective, I want. Number one is how to pace your residency. Okay. Number two is, suppose, you are joining MD medicine. So when do you usually get that feeling? Okay, this is when a specialty that I want to do, cardiology, nephrology. So how to decide on a specialty also, your perspective?
First thing is,
joining, like how will you pace your residency? Like, is it that, you should just focus on a specialty, or, you have got to focus on medicine?
So one thing is, these first 3 years which we are going to have is entirely for medicine only. I don't want anybody to think that they are going to take a specialty. So I will be focusing it on more. But because we have taken medicine because we love medicine. Yeah. So you should actually first learn medicine well. And learning medicine is actually a multiple prong approach is needed. Like the ward approach is different. The OPD approach is different. Your case approach is different. So it will be impossible that you can study specialty if you are studying specialty, you will not be able to give your 100% to medicine. So at least for the first 2 years, it should be entirely ward work and ward work based reading, and that is the most important thing, because what we read based on the ward, it will stay with us. I firmly believe that. Yeah. And this is very important also, because I have seen many residents who are very much academically good, but they may not be able to even intubate. I have seen that. Yeah. So such sort of thing should not happen. You should actually be very, very good, and you should be focused on your ward work on the first two years. Yeah. And after the second year, I think you can actually decide. Yeah, you've already seen the specialty, so you should choose a specialty which suits you, not based on the best specialty. Because for me, interventions, if I do, I'm not so good in intervention, I feel, because I get tensed a lot. So I felt that I should not choose something which is having intervention, but I am ready to do hard work. So I should not pull myself back to some specialty like rheumat or something where hard work is not much needed. So I chose something which will be better for me. I was always ready to take history. I was able to spend time with patients. So I choose neurology. So this decision you can only take after your third year begins. That is the best time to take the decision. And then you can start reading. Okay. Till then, your reading should be based on Harrison and up to date. I firmly believe that you should read up to date. You should take the subscription of up to date. And because I was in institute, we had free subscription for that. But if you are outside AIIMS or your central institute, you should definitely paying a 20,000 rupees for up to date is worth it. So you should take it, and you should actually use it, because even though Harrison gives a overview of the pathogenesis and the approach to the diagnosis, the management part and doubts in management you can only get from up to date. So that is needed, because in 30 questions I have mentioned, definitely they ask questions from up to date. Yeah. The simple question they asked based on management of hyponatremia. If you don't know that, it means that you didn't do your ward work well. Yeah. In this entrance itself, they assess both also. Whether you have did your ward work well and whether you have read the book well. So.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with the points that he said now. I think this is the most important part of the interview because many a times I've seen, like I take classes for NEET PG also. So many students after getting MD medicine, they message me, sir, I want cardiology. So how can I start studying from day one of residency or, neurology or nephrology? As Ankit said, first of all, I think it is important to be a good physician and then you become a good super specialist. Otherwise you're just reading books. So ward work and learning from cases is very very important. That is what Ankit is trying to tell us, and I'll just tell you an example for the viewers. See, there was one patient who actually came to us with paraparesis, a young male who presented with paraparesis. So see, paraparesis, definitely the patient is going to come to the neurology. But see, on evaluation, he had a potassium level of 1.1, hypokalemia. Subsequent evaluation, like this patient actually was having, the chest X-ray. When we actually took the chest X-ray, it was showing a mass. And on tissue diagnosis, it was a carcinoid. So it was a ectopic carcinoid producing, a carcinoid, bronchial carcinoid producing ectopic ACTH, and this ectopic ACTH production leading on to hypokalemia, and the patient was brought with paraparesis. If you just have a tunnel vision of neurology alone, and if you are not good in your basic endocrine or basic clinical evaluation and common sense, then you would be just sticking around paraparesis and then solving each differential one by one. It will be difficult. So if you know the pattern, how to evaluate the patient, so that is not learned from any books. It is by being in the wards, seeing cases, and then as Ankit said, just reading then from the case. So that is how you should go about things. So that is what Ankit is telling us. So Ankit, coming back, regarding how you utilize the video lectures of doc tutorials. So was it like you were watching module by module or random modules? And what about the question bank? What was your style of approach to the doc tutorials, the lectures and question bank?
So first thing is I will read myself the book Harrison plus
Okay.
Bradley. I will make notes.
Okay.
Then I will listen to your lectures. Then I will go back. I will add points, or I will there. Even if we have read, also there will maybe certain things we will not be able to understand. We will be thinking that we have already understood that, but when you explain that, we will feel that okay, this is the meaning of the sentence. So I will read the notes again. So after that, I will go and after fully completing everything possible, then only I will try the test. I will write the try the MCQs.
Question bank.
Because I felt that sir, MCQs were very tough, which I felt in doctorate was very tough, and I was expecting questions to be like that.
Because
So-
we had framed the questions also like that. See, one thing is lectures and QBank. Second is we did the elite exams. So elite exam questions were slightly on the easier to moderate side. So the elite exam questions, individual topic-wise exams. And subsequently, for the QBank, we put the question on a higher level, and most of the questions were from Bradley. For the QBank. But for the elite, it was either Harrison, more clinical. So it was more of a structured, way where we tried to present, where the lectures covered everything. At the same time, in the questions, we had one segment dealing with the Harrison as well as clinical oriented question, and the other with the Bradley, so that wherever the question was asked, because there will be some time, where questions will be a good share of questions can come from Bradley. Okay, so even this time also there was a question on multiple sclerosis, where all the four options were actually lines from Bradley. So
yes,
yeah, you remember that question. So there will be like that.
Spinal cord, that answer.
Yeah, correct. So this is how the course structure was we have done in doc tutorials. And Ankit also has gone in that way. He has read his book, he has watched the lectures, he had added points, and then he tries to test himself by doing the MCQs. So, okay, so that is also clear. So I think, in the course of this interview, what are the take-home points for all you residents? First of all, to those who are joining, first, be sincere in your wards. Be very punctual, work up the cases, learn from the cases. Decide on the super specialty that suits you. And once you have made a decision, make a thorough, reading of that. So once you do the lectures, and along with the Harrison as well, you have done most of it. And then whatever extra is required, we have given in the question bank also. Okay, so you can practice that. And next year, I'm sure that Ankit, you will also be joining us for the, helping the juniors in the interview session, because like every year, that is how we do it. For the interview sessions, we seek the help of students who just actually cleared it, and they share the questions, and again that will actually help. Just like I still remember, one of the candidates, Abhishek, who had got rank 3. So Abhishek, after the interview, he just messaged me one thing: whatever questions that we had shared on that group from the previous years, there is nothing other was asked. So everything was one or the other question based on that, because obviously certain examiners will have certain strong areas or the areas they like, so they might ask questions to judge students, so that will definitely be helpful. So Ankit, so very happy to share the screen with you. I'm sure it is a delightful moment. It was just a few hours back the results was announced, and I'm sure the joy is sinking in. Everybody in the family must be elated. So, any chance of a party tonight? Today is a Sunday, and do you have any party plans today?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay. So, all right. Thank you so much, Ankit, for joining, and all the viewers. If you have any doubts with respect to preparation, please feel free to ask me. We'll be more than happy to help you. I'll just share you my number also. My number is WhatsApp number is 9447 334944. 9447 334944. So if you're starting your preparation, because next time, you're going to have the medical group exam. So in doc tutorials, I am taking the medicine part as well as for the neurology super specialty part. So if you have doubts on how to prepare, how to go about it, even if you are post MD, you can definitely be in touch with me. And also, we have our toppers also going to help you, because they are now a part of our team also. They'll be helping you, guiding you, what all mistakes you are likely to happen during your preparation. So they'll be also helping you, because even now today the results was announced, and the first thing I did was, many students who messaged me like, I just want to know more about Sri Chitra. So I just actually just got a number of my student in Sri Chitra. I just shared with them, and I just messaged that student also in Sri Chitra. So they are also very much, open to helping others also. So Ankit, thank you so much for joining. Okay. So bye to all the viewers. Thank you.